Hello, my name's Andrew Brooks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at defunct visual media, watching it on modern day media. Hello, and thank you once again for joining me. Let's just get all the boring stuff done out of the way. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much. Love new subscribers. If you want to subscribe, all you need to do is just click this little button down here and you will get instantly told of any new videos of mine that come out. Yeah, thanks a lot for all the new subscribers. It's been great. Thanks a lot for all the comments and remarks in the little comment section down here somewhere. I always try and respond if it needs responding to, but I do read every single one, rest assured. Anyway, let's crack on. So we're looking at defunct visual media, and ironically you're watching it on modern visual media, which is YouTube, which is how practically everyone watches their stuff these days. But back in the 70s and the 80s, it was nigh on impossible to find any Beatles footage. The Beatles weren't that popular. No one really showed the stuff on the TV anymore. I think it was like 1979 until the BBC actually showed the films for the first time in God knows however many years, even if it was the very first time. So 1979 was when we got to see Help and A Hard Day's Night on TV in the UK. Not sure about the US or other countries. You might have had it on some sort of movie channel. I don't know. But anyway, so going back to the 70s, you've got to remember there was no such things as videotape. In the UK, TV only had 2 channels, maybe 3, once ITV and BBC 2 and BBC 1 came in. But that was it. And we had no access to any other recording format or visual format other than still photographs and obviously the audio side of it. However, people did have access to projectors, and if you was lucky enough and knew the right people, you was probably able to find some Beatles films on these 8mm or Super 8 films for projection. So that's the sort of stuff we're going to be looking at today, and boy, stick around because I've got some really nice things to show you from my personal collection. Okay, so as I say, you could say that defunct visual media even includes things like Blu-rays these days, or DVDs in this case. I know a lot of people who have got rid of all their DVDs because everything's all streamed these days. Before that, before DVDs, we used to have videotape, and I've still got videotape, and it's great because this sort of thing, complete Beatles, you can't get on DVD unless it's a pirate copy. Never officially released on DVD, but this is an official VHS tape of it before Anthology and before Apple bought the rights to it and then completely removed it from the shelves. So back in the early 80s when this came out, this was like a lot of money. I think this was like £30. I don't know, what's that, $50 in America to buy. So that was a lot of money back then. So we're looking at DVDs, VHS tapes and Betamax, obviously. They're defunct practically now because everyone watches on streaming and YouTube. But as I said before that, there was even some earlier forms of visual media. So we had 8mm films. There was Super 8mm films, 16mm films, and if you was in a proper cinema, you had 35mm films. But what people did have, and this is obviously pirates got hold of these. So what we have here, let me show you a little. What's this say? Beatles in Manchester. So let me show you there. Look, the Beatles in Manchester. So this is the Pathé News, and it's now in colour. This is a black and white one. John, Paul, George and Ringo take the city by storm, see them perform She Loves You and Twist and Shout. Super 8mm black and white sound. So I'll just show you what it looks like. So let's just get past the there you go. I mean, you can't really see too much what's going on there, but So that's the Super 8mm film. Now, as I say, I do have a few of these, and I still put them in my collection because, yeah, it's part of history, and it reminds me of how we had to watch them back in the day. Still on the subject of Super 8mm, yeah, this was a pirate copy of Hey Jude, yeah, the David Frost show. So there we go. Let's just unclip that, and I don't even think you'll be able to see any of the, because it's so small. There we are. But that's Super 8 footage of Hey Jude, and again, a pirate copy. Yeah, looks like it's come from Europe somewhere. That's certainly some European foreign writing there. Don't understand what it says. What other things have we got? So this is the Beatles Pathé News, and it's a decade Pathé News. So on this one we've got the 60s, so there's lots of Beatles footage on that. This one, this is nice. This has got Let It Be on it, which is terrific. It's not the whole film, it is just literally the song Let It Be, as you can see here. And once again, you are able to view this anytime you like, instantly on YouTube. I'm not going to unravel it because it will just take too long, and you won't be able to see anything anyway. So yeah, we've got those. Now moving on to a slightly different format. Now this, I was very excited when I found this one. Going through a box of films that I have, I'd totally forgotten I had this. Now this is, I'm going to unravel it because you should be able to make out once I get to the appropriate bit. Hopefully that's the right way. No, that'll be the right way around for you. Try and get it on a bit of white. It actually says A Hard Day's Night. So this is a trailer for the film of A Hard Day's Night. It's on 35mm film, so this is the stuff that was shown in the cinema. Now, interestingly, I noticed as I was just sort of unraveling the end of it there, I noticed the words A Hard Day's Night were in colour. And obviously all trailers for A Hard Day's Night back in the 60s were in black and white because it was a black and white film. So my thinking is it reminded me very much of the 80s logo for when they issued it on VHS tape for the first time. So I suspect that is a 35mm print of the 80s trailer for A Hard Day's Night. Unfortunately, I've got no way of playing it. My friend Chris, who's a big Beatles fan, and I'll come on to him later because he gave me something very special. He is also a big film fan, and he has got lots of projectors and is able to play most films. Even he can't play a 35mm film, which is a right pain because I would love to see that trailer just to see what it is, and maybe even get it transferred so I can play it anytime I like on my computer. Okay, moving on. Now, when you say reels of film, this is probably what people think of. It's a metal film canister, metal film can, and yeah, and then when I open it up, inside we have a big reel of film like this. Now this is, it says on here, it's got measurements. It says 800 feet, 22 minutes. So this is about 22 minutes worth of film footage here. I had no idea what was on this until half an hour ago when I got it out of the box, that it's been sitting in, languishing probably for, I don't know, the best part of 30 years. I have no way of playing it. Fortunately, Chris is. So next time I'm going to go and see Chris, all these films are coming with me that he can play, just so I can watch it. But I did unravel it, and I can tell you at the start of it is John Lennon doing Slipping and the Sliding, or Stand By Me from the Old Grey Whistle Test. You know, those two videos that he filmed for that. But this is 22 minutes long. So what on earth is on this film other than John Lennon doing Slipping and Sliding or Stand By Me? This is a mystery which I will solve when I go and visit my friend Chris Usher. Moving on to Chris, he in the 80s very, very kindly let me have this. This is a 16mm film can, and on the front here, I'm going to show it to you now. It says Beatles Big Night Out, and in here is a 16mm film print of the Beatles on Mike and Bernie Winter Show Big Night Out. Google, put it on YouTube, because you'll see it straight away. It's the one where they're stood performing in like the mock arches of, as if it was like the Cavern Club. But when you unravel it, you can let me get to the unraveling bit. Yeah, I mean it just goes on and on. But he explained to me the procedure and how this came about. So there we are. So there's the Beatles on Mike and Bernie Winters. You can just about see them there. You won't be able to make out what the picture is. But basically, he used to work in a film lab, studio, and this was actually filmed on a very, very early videotape. But to play it, like they had to convert it from the videotape to film, like this. So his job was to run the videotapes, copying it frame by frame. Apparently, it was frame by frame onto film. So it's like photographing 24, 25 frames per second. And so that's how he managed to get a copy of Mike and Bernie Winter's Big Night Out, because that was his job to copy it. So as far as I know, yeah, it's on anthology, so it's no undiscovered rare footage. But yeah, it's a defunct media, visual media. However, it's in my collection, and I'm so looking forward to being able to play it again when I go and see Chris. Okay, so moving on from that defunct media, I bet no one else can think of another defunct media which people like myself collect but have no means of playing. I'm talking about, of course, laser discs. Now, laser discs are incredibly large discs. The machines were huge. I did used to have one like in the early 2000s, late 90s, and it was so big, it was so noisy. The film stopped halfway through to play the other side, so it's not like a DVD where it just plays, or Blu-ray where it just plays all the way through. However, laser discs were seen as an upgrade from VHS tapes, but before DVDs came in, and they were around at the same time as DVDs, and soon to be gone. They are a defunct visual media. So let's have a look at what I have in my collection. So strictly not Beatles, but it's the Beatles story. We have Backbeat. Now you will notice these come in fabulous 12-inch sleeves, because they are the same size as a 12-inch record. And for me, I love the sleeves. I love the sleeves, and if DVDs could come in sleeves like that, I'd be so happy. But they take up so much room, so you have to store them with your records. So another one I've got here is McCartney's Liverpool Oratorio on Laserdisc, and as I said, I no longer have a player. I can't even play it, so it's remained sealed. So what else have we got here? We've got Ringo in That'll Be the Day. Great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. David Essex film, and Ringo and him. Basically, it recreates Ringo's time at the Butlins holiday camp. So, and the next one I've got here is John Lennon in How I Won the War, as you can see. And as I said, I just can't get over how fantastic it is to have like an equivalent of an LP as a sleeve. First US visit. Again, it's been out on DVD since. But there we are. First sign of an apple, maybe, on a Laserdisc. Now these ones are quite collectible as far as I know. We've got Rock Show, Paul McCartney Rock Show, and long before the DVD came out, this was the best quality to see this film, you know. And as I say, I did have a Laserdisc player at the time, and it was great to be able to watch it. But I can't describe to you how noisy this machine was and how big this machine was. You think about, imagine you've got your DVD player the size, the machine that takes those discs, those size discs. Well, imagine trying to put a 12-inch disc into a machine. This is another really nice one, and hasn't even come out on DVD. There are obviously clips of it on Anthology, but this is the Beatles live in Budokan in '66 in Japan, and this is an official release. So there we are. There were other official releases which I don't have. You've got things like Let It Be, the film, certainly came out on Laserdisc, as well as Betamax, and since has never come out since. One last thing I'm going to show you, because I think Apple Beatles missed a trick with this. So here we have Anthology, the Beatles Anthology. Yes, it's available on DVD. It is. I mean, how fantastic does that sleeve look, all in one piece? And you look at it, and it goes like round the corner and then onto the back. However, as I said, they are the size of 12-inch singles and albums. Sorry, albums, 12-inch albums. So this, the inner bit comes apart like that, and you are then left with this sort of rack. Now I managed to pick up. That's like the hype sticker saying there's a t-shirt competition, mail order thing here, and then there's like a magazine that was out at the time, Laserdisc News. This, I managed to fit all this in. This is a booklet that ITV, when Anthology was shown on TV, you could send off for a nice booklet to accompany it. And now with the Laserdisc, you got this, which is the track listing and the disc listing, showing you what's on each one. Okay, now imagine you've got your Anthology LPs. What a trick. Imagine having them all in a box like this. But what we have got in here are eight blue laser discs. And for those of you who don't really know what a laser disc is, so they come with a nice Apple label. Take it out. How shiny is this disc? Look, it's like a platinum gold sort of a silver disc. You could put these in a frame. So Anthology came as an 8-disc set, and I've always thought what Apple, Beatles, EMI, whoever should have done was issued the vinyl albums for Anthology in a box like this. It's an incredible sort of massive box, and to have your LPs sorted like that, imagine that on a shelf. So yeah, so they all come with different sleeves, and when you lay them all out, they actually make the Anthology sort of poster up. But I'm not going to get them all out because you've seen them 100 times before on the poster. Well, as I say, hopefully you've enjoyed this little look at Defunct visual media. For me, they're still really interesting things to collect because, okay, I've got no way of playing them, but just to see, these LP size sleeves and how people used to watch Beatles films back in the day. But there we are. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe down here. Up here is probably some videos of recommended things from my channel that I think you'd like to see, and please leave some comments. I love reading the comments, and if I can, I will always answer them. I'll just leave you with this little caption that I've just noticed about the Anthology. It says here, you haven't seen everything until you've seen it on Laserdisc.